Alright, going to be installing a Division X return style fuel system on this 04 Mustang GT. I've already removed all the carpet and shit out of here. This is just a shell test car anyway, so I'm not going to put it back. I'm just going to put it on Marketplace for free, see if anybody needs it. Bottom side. I'm getting too old for this. You got one wire connector here, which I've already undone. You got 4 13mm bolts, or sorry, 2, and 1 here. So this whole strap comes off, I think. Yeah, so 3. This one has 2 bolts in it. This one has 1 bolt, and then the other one swings out. You gotta remove that. You gotta unhook the feed line that goes into your fuel filter here. You gotta unhook this little hose here, and then you have an 8mm bolt here that holds that little tab. You gotta take that 8mm out and then pull that fuel hose out as you're lowering it. You've got a little vent line over here that I've already pulled out. On this side, driver's side, you have, there you are. There's a hose right there. You see that little yellow locking ring? That's a hose you gotta remove. And then that little vent line as well. And then lower it down slowly. Hope you didn't miss anything. All right, my tank is out. It was super dirty on the top of it. Bunch of mud. I ended up missing, there was this hose too. I forgot to mention that when you're dropping, when you're taking off, you know, this 8mm and taking this vent out, you need to also kind of, this one just pulled off for me. It didn't break, but man, it's filthy too, so I'm gonna have to clean those out really good. I'm gonna try and reuse as much as I can off this tank. I'm gonna try and pull these out, hope they don't break. These unclip, there's 3 clips. They all just kind of pull away from it. This one is over here. These are the 2 that came on the driver's side. I'm gonna hopefully get all this to come out with it. Obviously I won't need that because I'm using a Division X top hat. But I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it all off. I'll even pull off these new pads here because I'm moving everything to my 03 Cobra tank that I'm gonna install this stuff into, since it's got the internal baffles. I already pulled the fuel neck grommet out. It's got a little tab on the inside of it. It like mushrooms out on the inside, which came out pretty easy. I know the old ones will rip. I've ripped them before. Sprayed it down with some WD-40 and cleaned it up really good. Then to put it in, you kind of have to ball up the mushroom, the inside part of this grommet. It's all mushroomed out. You gotta ball it up and just work it in back and forth a little bit. Lube it up with some WD-40. It'll go in. But I transfer that over. And I'm gonna try and work on getting these out and put them on here. Okay, gonna be doing I guess I can't really call it unboxing because it's already mostly all unboxed. I got the Division X Lethal Performance return style fuel system. So far everything was good. I haven't actually taken a full inventory of everything yet. Top hat looks really good quality. Nice machined aluminum. Instructions are pretty shit. Very lackluster to say the least. So I'm gonna do what I've been doing the last couple of days is like a mixture of, it's got instructions on how to do the top hat, which I'm gonna do now. But as far as like the rest of the system, you're kind of just SOL, figure it out yourself type deal. So I've been watching a couple other videos of people doing the 4 style return system, which are very similar. So I'll make a video of doing this one. We're just gonna be learning together as I go along because I don't fucking know what I'm doing. So as I figure it out, I'll record it for the next guy. This kit also came with new fuel rails. These are supposed to be able to work with the Kenny Brett. I'm really hopeful on that. bag of miscellaneous vacuum lines and cable ties and clamps. This is their system called the box that powers fuel pump 1, 2, and an additional spot for a third if you want to go that route. It's got lights to show if they're working or not. I believe this is the signal wire from the fuel pump drive module. Some heavy gauge wire to run your battery. This looks like the feed for the pumps. And there's the signal wire for the fuel level sender. I've got some hoses here. Some fittings, the little Y blocks in there. Regulator, pumps, fluid filter, and that's the sender. Not quite sure where I left off with this tank. This obviously is a new tank, an 03 Cobra tank. It has the internal baffles. All of this came off of the donor car, the 04 Mustang GT. This is all the evap emission bullshit lines that come with it. This one was pretty easy to get out. You just gotta WD-40 it up, pry left and right, forward and backward. Just be cautious with it. It's gonna take a while. This one was an absolute pain in the ass, and I broke the shit out of the rim back here. I didn't the lip on the edge came off. There's still enough meat there that it wasn't a gaping hole. So I went ahead and reused it anyway. I did put a little bit of RTV around this part where it broke off, but I think it's going to be just fine. This hose had vapor cracked and had a hole in it, so I put went out and bought some 5/8 fuel line and stuck her on there. So in theory, this should all go right back in the way it came out. I haven't got it yet, but I ordered some peel and stick foam to put on this, where the tank sits up into the body. The factory piece had foam on it. I tried to peel some of that off. It was not working. That shit was so old, deteriorated, it was just ripping apart. So I ordered off of Amazon. It was like $12 for a big ass roll of it, a 1/4-inch thick. And I'll just kind of replicate what I see on that, put it on this. Be something simple. This harness, also off the 04 tank. Plugged it back in. Pressure sensor here. Oh man, got a bunch of pressure myself. Anyways, cut this off of the other top hat. There's 2 wires that go to the pumps. There's a black and a yellow wire that go to the fuel sending unit, or actually feed the signal from the fuel sending unit to your instrument cluster. So they're gonna hook right up to the harness here. When you plug this in, it's gonna have a black and yellow coming off of it. Obviously they go to the black and yellow there. And then these are your feed wires for your left and right pump, which will go to the performance box. Now I'm going to read up on installing this top hat, and then I'll do this video as I go along. Alright, so first step, it shows install 4 O-rings into the bottom of the fuel hat, which these happen to be the approximate size, and there's 4 of them, so I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that these are the ones I need to install. There's a nice little groove in there. Should be pretty straightforward. And 4. So nice and seated in there. So I've already done this one. But the next step is installing this fitting on here. I like to point out a funny part of the instructions that it shows. Make sure you tighten up the fitting, the aluminum fitting, to the brass fitting until it looks like this. And then they put this grainy ass picture that you can barely fucking see. But I'm gonna go over that here in a minute. There is a point where you're tightening it up where you're like, all right, well that feels like I shouldn't go any further, and that's where you stop. It looks like it's pretty much Yeah, I mean, it's mostly done. There's like barely a thread sticking out. That's where it stopped for me. But we'll get to that. I'm jumping ahead here. So take the fuel pump, fresh out the box. It's going to have this little rubber protector on this end, another protector on that end. Oh, this one didn't have a protector on that end. First step is, what was the first step? All right, the first step is to install this. This has a piece of brass in it when you get it. They're screwed together. Take the brass out, drop this down there. Next step is this little Teflon washer. It's a split Teflon ring. Where is it? Yeah, right there. There's a split. And the instructions are kind of stupid, but what they're saying is they just don't want looking like that. They don't want one end on top of the other. It needs to be flat all the way across. You're just gonna drop that down in there. It's a little bit hard to get it past the second dip, which is why they recommend a small screwdriver, which I have right here. So I use my small screwdriver, push it down the rest of the way. Look in there, make sure that it didn't overlap the wrong way. It did not, so we're good. Now O-ring. There's a small O-ring. It goes over there's like 2 notches here. It goes in between the 2 notches. Got a little bit of lube on there. And by lube, I just mean WD-40, squirts of WD-40 on it. And drop it on there. Now, take your brass fitting, put a little bit of thread locker, 243 on it, blue. Start her on there. All right, now here's the part I was talking about. You need a 13mm wrench, and there's a little supplied aluminum piece here. It specifically says to hold the brass in place and then tighten the aluminum piece. I'm not sure if that makes a difference at all, but whatever, that's what I'm doing. And then you just tighten it up. Starts to get a little bit harder. You're gonna feel, don't over tighten it because it's just a Teflon and a rubber ring. But you'll feel the point where it's like, all right, well, I probably shouldn't go any tighter than that. It'll have like maybe 1 thread sticking out. Yeah, there's no reason to go any tighter than that. Wipe off the excess. Now it needs to sit for about 3 to 6 hours to cure. I almost forgot. Next step is there's these 2 medium-sized O-rings that come in there. You need to throw those on next. There's one. There's 2. All right, now I'm gonna try and put it in the hat. All right, got one side in. Now that I know a way to do this, I'm not gonna ask it myself. You wanna loop these O-rings up pretty good, because it's pretty hard to get this fucker in there. I threw a little bit of WD-40 on the side of this pump itself. Got some on this O-ring here. It says to do the plug first, but don't try and bend these up. They're already bent down. Just leave them like that, it'll fit. And try and go ahead and get the thread portion pointed to where it's going to go anyway. Make your life easier when you get closer to the bottom, because it gets really hard to turn once it's got both O-rings grabbing it. Now shove her down. Pretty close. Need to go left a little bit still. Come on. Still need to go lift a little bit, I think. Definitely need some better lighting. She looks pretty centered in there. But you don't want to cross thread this thing. Oh God, that'd be the worst. So I'll try and twist it a little bit more, see if I can get her centered a little bit better. And I'm gonna spin it backwards a couple times. Yeah, it looks like it's pretty straight in there. I'll go to the old college, try, see what happens. Pushing in while I'm turning. I don't feel anything binding. Yeah, she's going in. All right, we're bounding out there. All right, now you install the fuel socks. They only go on one way. There's a little guide pin, and they will go all the way down. You just gotta really put some back behind it. Pop it on there. And give her a push. Looks like it still needs to go a little bit further. Yeah, there we go. It's crazy that they overlap each other like that, but yeah. Now it should be ready to go in. Oh, you gotta do the fuel center still. Stand by, fuel center. All right. Well, wouldn't you like that? Fresh out of the box, fucking broken. And honestly, dude, I might just try and JB weld it instead of trying to get a return, because my customer service with Lethal Performance as of late has just been absolute fucking bullshit. Honestly, if I could have got this kit somewhere else, I would have bought it from somewhere else, because the last two big orders I put with them have been not just like a couple weeks behind, but like this order was 3 months behind schedule. The last order that I did for a timing chain was 6 months behind schedule, and their customer service is absolute bullshit. Like their response is always just like, "Yeah, sorry, we can't do anything about it." Like, and then I have to keep every month. Oh, where are we at? Oh, another couple weeks. Oh, where are we at? Oh, another couple weeks. You know, it's bullshit. Sorry, went on a rant. I guess I'm gonna try and JB weld this. But this is what I come to expect from Lethal Performance. Fucking fresh out of the box, fucking broken. Fuck those guys. Update. Put a nice little booger of JB weld on there. I'm gonna let it cure for 4 to 6 hours and see if it actually does worth a damn. I might just have to order a new one. All right, so for today's installment, I'm currently dealing with the biggest headache of this entire fucking install to date. My JB weld set up, so I'm confident that'll be fine. This ground though, instructions are very vague. They say ground it to the existing or to the previous Cobra ground, something to that effect. So if you are like me and you ordered this from Lethal Performance and didn't take it apart, the ground is supposed to go here. There's a small hole here, but there's no screw provided. So after searching my entire garage for over an hour and not finding any screw that would actually fit, I found the smallest screw that I could with a nut. I ran it through the back side, put a nut on it, so it'll fit. There's a tiny groove back there. where the bolts or the screw's supposed to go protrude through. If you don't happen to have that screw, good luck finding one. There's an alternative. You can put a small screw with a small head, push it in through backwards, and then put a nut on it. And this will actually fit in that hole. I've tested it. I'm about to put the bolts in it now. But, you know, again, thank you so much, Lethal Performance, for sending me a broken fucking fuel sender with no screw for it, for the ground. So, all right, finished product. Got that sucker in there. It's fucking ugly, but it'll work. Yellow wire goes to the white wire spade connector. Black is the ground, obviously. Goes to that random hole there. Socks are on. Now I'm gonna install this puppy. What the fuck is that even possibly? Something feels like it's in there, but something just doesn't seem right. Yeah, feels something's fine. Maybe we just gotta compress that gasket. Maybe that's why it's not sitting perfect, I guess. 6 screws, one long one, a bunch of short ones. I'm assuming the long one goes into the long hole, and all the rest are short, same size, they go on the rest of the holes. All right. Now I gotta wire these bad boys in. Grab a plug. Using these heat shrink bullet connectors. Got these off of Amazon. Pretty good ones too. Use them on my boat motor. Haven't had a single issue with those. And that's it's in the water quite frequently, so. All right. Now shrink it. So right now I'm cutting out chunks of this foam we got off Amazon. It was a 1/4 inch thick, I think. 12 inches wide. I don't remember how the length of it was. Seems like I got just enough here. We'll probably have a little bit left over. But I'm trying to replicate the padding that was on the original tank. Because that stuff ain't coming up anytime soon anyway. So far the hardest part is just peeling the freaking protective layer off. And this one goes about right here. Obviously I'm no artsy fartsy major here. So my cuts are gonna be a little bit crooked, but you know what? It's better than nothing, right? Stuff seems to stick pretty well. I went ahead and wiped this whole thing down with alcohol beforehand, so that way if there was any leftover residues, it'll get rid of it. Hopefully they'll stick better. I'll do one more about this wide to do do that corner. And the last one is just this big one that goes in the middle here. Fold this in half. Follow my line across. It'll be somewhat straight that way. Like I said, it doesn't need to be perfect. Ain't nobody can see this shit. Except for the 5 people that watch my videos. Let's see how crooked it was before I put it on. But nobody else is ever gonna see this. I don't even know if I'm even in the camera at this point. Yeah. Oh, this one's coming out. I had to say something. Yeah, damn it. I did that to myself. Oh, come on, man. Just peel. This one's a giant pain in the ass. There we go. All right. This one's gonna be kind of tricky. I'm just gonna go down as far as it'll go and wrap it. All right, now for the big one. So, just look at the other tank. It kind of goes like here, and then across here, back around to there. Kind of fucking weird, but whatever. We'll see if we can make it work. Probably just gonna do this in a couple pieces. Something like that. Definitely a piece that went up there. And a piece that went up there. So maybe I'll do something like let me get a marker and just draw it out. Yeah. If that doesn't work, then I'll just add to it. I don't really care. I'm not gonna win any car shows with this thing, I'll tell you that. You know what? That ain't half bad. If I do say so myself. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. You know what though, that was the easiest one to peel so far. Alright. See if I can stick this down without fucking it all up. Not bad, dude. Not bad indeed. That'll probably never stick again. I can show you the original to compare it to, before you judge me for my weird ass cuts. This is the OG. There's one here, little one here. Then this is the one I just did. Kind of a weird U shape. Probably need to go this way a little bit more, a little patch piece, but I mean, come on, man, come on. It's, you know, it's It's close. I do admit this one looks a little bit retarded right here, so yeah, I could have did that a little bit straighter, but for the most part, come on, man, that's close. That looks good. And up with quite a bit left over actually. So I think I paid like $12 for that on Amazon. Not bad. I don't know if they even remake these that you can buy, but I guarantee they're more than $12 if you were to be able to buy it. So yeah, if you're one of the 4 people that actually watch my videos and you're thinking about tackling this yourself, go ahead. It's fine. This will be how I install it right here. Actually, it's ready to go in too. We're done here. The rest of this all is just plug and play. This plug will go in through the trunk. This one plugs in where it used to. The rest of it's all still there in the fucking 04 Mustang. It's ready. Good to go. Oh, I forgot one final step before I install this thing. I gotta put in my plugs for the feed and return. There's 2 extra packs in the kit. There's an 8 AN feed, or a 8 AN bung for the return here, and then there's a 10 AN fitting for the feed line. So just screw those in there, and now it'll be ready to be installed. Put a little bit of WD-40 on this O-ring. Slide her on. Twist it in. And we'll tighten these up, and then it's ready.